How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh, KI6NAZ. I like portable ham radio. I love parks on the air. I like just being outdoors, but most of the time when I go outdoors with ham radio, I'm generally putting something on my back and hiking a ways. I'm not expected to be car portable or based in my vehicle. But since buying my Ford F-150, I've now had the opportunity to get a little bit more active with what I would call car portable or, vehicle-centric ham radio. So today we're going to be talking about the Chameleon PORTA-MAST. Chameleon sent out a 25-foot PORTA-MAST to me and two of the mounting options, which I took recently down to Crystal Cove Beach in California. I put their tactical Delta loop right on the top of that thing at 25 feet, and I had non-stop contacts for the entire hour I was there on 10 meters. I didn't even get to explore the lower bands that antenna can work on because it was just non-stop 10. I had no reason to really move. This is Kilo India 6, November Alpha Zulu for Parks on the Air, QRZ. Oh, I got a big pile up here. I heard a Kilo Whiskey station. Come again?
Kilo 5 Sierra Whiskey Alpha.
Kilo 5 Sierra Whiskey Alpha, 5-9 into Kilo 1141.
You're 5-9 into Dallas, Texas, Josh. Good job. QSL the park.
Hey, thank you for the contact, 7-3. Kilo India 6, November Alpha Zulu, QRZ.
Whiskey 5 Tango.
Woo! It's a Whiskey 5 Tango something. Come back.
Whiskey 5 Tango X-ray.
But what I discovered while doing that activation is this setup is really slick and really fast to get up and running. In particular, I used the wheel mount system, which is a plate that you back your truck or vehicle, RV, whatever onto, and then has a receiving hole for the PORTA-MAST system. The PORTA-MAST itself comes in three sizes: 25 feet, 20 feet, and 15 feet. The 20-foot and the 25-foot are 4-section masts, and the 15-foot is a 3-section mast. There's slightly different gauges of the aluminum, the metal on the different masts. The 20 and 25 have 12-gauge aluminum, and the 15-foot has the 14-gauge aluminum. Now, price-wise, the masts vary greatly. The 25-foot mast, which is the one you're seeing that I ran at Crystal Cove, runs $438. The 20-foot is $348, and the 15-foot is $278. So a pretty big swing. Now, every time I make a video about Chameleon, someone is in the comments talking about the price. Price is commensurate with the quality you get in their products. The quality in the mast, the rollover base, the hitch mount, everything I've seen, including that top section that they make in Santa Ana, California. We saw that when we went on the factory tour with the fine folks at Rolltech.
The mast is another thing that we have this year that or
the rollover mast
year.
stand?
No, our aluminum masts that go up. Have you seen those?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a part that goes for it. It goes on the top. It's an addition to, you can mount with U-clamps, and different types of antennas that you have. So it's versatile not only for our antennas,
okay,
but you can use U-clamps to mount like a base antenna.
Oh, cool.
You could pop your hybrid up on here, and it kind of has.
Is this the final? Is this pretty
much
the final?
That is the final. It's not anodized or anything.
Right.
I think that's their shop. That's their shop model.
All top of the line quality, and you pay for that level of quality, and this price matches that. It's something that you're going to buy, you're going to use for a really long time, and you're going to be good to go. You can also select the different mounts. They're called the Porta mounts. The hitch mount is $119 for those of you that have a hitch that isn't impeded by, like, say, a pickup bed, for instance. For me, the wheel mount was, like, truly the one to get. This is a really nice mount. The wheel mount runs $149, and they have another mount that goes on the side of like a house or a wall. They have a sleeve that you can mount in the ground when you surround it by concrete if you want a semi-permanent installation. And they also have like a ground plate that you can use as a temporary mount or temporary mount base to put the mast onto. Now, the operation of the mast is really simple. It is just a telescoping mast. You get into the bed of the truck, which is what I did in my case, hand over hand, push it up, and then there's a twist lock mechanism. And hey, wouldn't it be great if there was some way to see that twist lock in action? I figured why, instead of trying to talk through it, I'll just show you with this cool demonstrator that Chameleon sent to the HRO here in Anaheim. So check this out. That's how it telescopes, and that's how it locks. It's just a little kind of a cam twist and a lock in place. Pretty cool. So in my POTA example, I put the tactical delta loop center screw-on piece, and then the two telescoping masts with their matching device, or unun, or I'm not sure exactly what they call it for the tactical delta loop. Tied that all in, connected the wire loose, and then went hand over hand and pushed the telescopic mast out. Once I had it all tensioned up on the delta loop side, I then just hand over hand lifted, twisted, and locked into place the mast. It was a really simple setup. I will mention, though, if you are someone that can't really move around heavier objects, and the mast isn't too heavy that one person can't do it, but if you're worried about that, and you're also worried about the vertical height it will take to lift the mast hand over hand, I would recommend you go with the 15-foot option for this mast, and I don't feel that you're going to be that outgunned by the height that you get, the vertical height, with it. If you're thinking about a lot of the higher frequencies that we're using these days for parks on the air, even 20 meters, 15 feet is going to be fine, considering that the antenna is going to be on top of that. So if you're using the M-Pass, or you're using the tactical delta loop, or whatever, it's going to be fine on top of that mast in that configuration. Now, regarding the usable load that this mast can handle, you're not going to be able to put an HF beam on top of this. So it's just too much wind load for, say, a hex beam, for instance, or a 3-element beam for HF, like 20 meters or whatever. You can likely do a 2-meter beam or a 70-centimeter beam, but it's going to be kind of dependent on the boom size and the wind load that adds to the mast. You can run the tactical delta loop, no problem, from Chameleon, and you can also do the M-Pass. The M-Pass is going to be the easiest way to go because that's just basically a vertical. The delta loop does have some kind of wind load, but out at the beach, I had no issue. I'm confident that it can handle up to some pretty serious winds. Now, when it comes to recommending this, it's an easy recommendation for me if you're somebody that wants to use 100 watts and you want to be basically working out of your vehicle. And of course, you've got the space to carry the mast around. If you own a truck for whatever reason, this is going to be a perfect setup for that. You just pop down the tailgate, throw your 100 watt radio on top of that thing, and then get on the air with the POTA-MAST system. It's really, really simple and really easy to use. So thanks again to all the great folks over at Chameleon Antennas for sending this over to take a look at. I will be featuring this in future POTA videos that I do where I take my truck out, which is pretty much going to be all of them going forward, and I'm definitely going to be using this mast system and that delta loop. If you found this video helpful, feel free to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, click subscribe, click that bell so you know when I go live or I post another video. I'm Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. 73.